Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
Big Papa Chump Matt Strange. And this is he on...
That was good. Yeah, no, you're bang on there.
Okay, fuck.
I am Mo 105 days, triple figures, Morrison.
You're almost here as long as Scorpio Sky's winning streak on Dark. 700 wins!
How are you both doing?
Other than the Cursed Technology Day, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I actually impressed myself earlier today. I had a poo that was longer than my arm. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
You should make a Facebook status about that. That's what I do. You've got to keep the fans informed.
I would have taken a picture of it, but I'm all thumbs, so I guarantee I would have dropped my phone in it.
I was about to say you should share that shit, but maybe, that's a little too...
Worthy sacrifice to Shal Halud.
Some of you may have noticed I am represented by a picture of Sean Connery, or Strange's LARP character. That's because yesterday I did a corona test at work and I've got the Rona. So I do not look particularly great to be going on a camera.
In all fairness, most of the time you're in the shadow realm anyway.
Yeah, this is true.
Just vape more.
It's gone from the shadow realm to the void where Miro lives now.
Miro will return.
You fucking well better. I'm bored of these vanilla midgets shitting up my show.
Right, might be the first time you've listened to our show, might be the first time you've watched it.
Yeah, I do this bit, don't I?
Yeah, and it's time to know that we have a tier list, which is how we give our individual scores. It's how we give our scores for the individual matches on Dynamite and Rampage and the overall scores. Mr. Strange, are you ready?
Yeah, no.
Go for it.
You know what? Normally, I'm fucking ready for this. I'm jumping in with some high-speed shit, and I've written so much bollocks down for this show this week and fucked around with the computer. I completely forgot I did a tier list, which comes from Japanese school system and computer game rankings. You may know it from such channels such as Tierzoo and other ones. Unless we're being facetious, we don't go below our lowest rank of a D. It's a wasted segment. It was shitty. No one's happy. Or maybe it was just an awkward clusterfuck where they didn't actually think through a match. More on that later. Definitely no D's this week, boys. C, good wrestling section, just enough. The story's just enough. We know why they're in the ring. The promo goes, this is the character, and you go, yeah, the wrestling was good. You were happy. It filled the show up. D, match +1, like that previous one, but better. The story's definitely better. The match is crispy. You know why they're in the ring. The promo section consistently explains their character and shows who they are in a nice way, often the ways of a standard from MJF or Moxley. More on that later, I guess. A, fucking excellent sections, great things, the things you expect to be the top of the month. You've definitely got story in an A. I want story in an A-rank match. I don't want to be caught up on botches. I want to see some clean, crisp things. It's nice. And the promo section, the great start or conclusion to a story, maybe a little cinematic work to really give it some film energy. Who knows? Not always 3 dark tattooed people stood in height room in developing their photos. S, special magical moments that exceed an A through the wonders of storytelling in and outside the ring. The accumulation of a plot arc or a cinematic masterpiece. Maybe a cowboy on a horse. Maybe some ninjas who are hunting a luchador. Maybe a graveyard fight featuring some bikers and undead wizard. Either way, I want a wonderful conclusion or beginning to the story arc. I want what the second Avengers film should have been, instead of that shitfest we've got with new Thanos showing up. That film was bollocks. Don't want that. An S should be a wonderful conclusion to the moment. I want a brilliant promo that explains everything that's coming through. So C, sorry, D, shit. C, good. B, match +1. A, awesome. S, not Avengers Endgame. Whatever the last one was, that was bollocks. What it should have been. In our hearts and souls.
Right.
There we go. A little bit more pace today. Lovely.
So, moving on, we hit the news. Got a couple of bits this week.
Me again!
And yes...
News! Fucking news! Triple H no wrestle no more. Sad for the big guy. Years of wrestling and steroids and living under Vince's. Watching Vince destroy your best project and send all your wrestlers away to another company where I have to watch them does things to a man. Anyway, it's a real shame, and always got a lot of time for the big trips, and I hope he can't wrestle again, but I'm sure he'll live a good life. There's a big announcement on Dynamite tonight. There's a new Whammons coming, and it could be it's Toni Storm. Toni Storm. Her non-compete ends today. She's trained in Stardom. She's a Porg, which is what Tony Khan loves. Ass white girl. And she's showing up for the Owen tournament. So presumably Bret Hart will show up, seeing as we had the Bret Hart appreciation match last week as well, which I'll be reviewing momentarily. Yeah, there's a small chance it's Ember Moon. It's probably Toby Storm, and I'm not gonna pop unless Involve All comes on and fucking Kagetsu comes spiraling down to take everybody to fucking Stardom. Yeah, more wrestlers. We can shunt another 3 off to dark. And finally, my favourite piece of news this week is that the Steiner brothers will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this weekend, which means Scott Steiner will probably get to give a speech. There'll be burying Triple H, there'll be swearing, he'll probably say he fucked someone's wife, because there'll probably be a fat joke, and he'll be banned from the WWE forever again. I fucking love Big Papa Pump. He is a magical being. He is a unicorn of raw something.
What, cocaine laced with roids?
Yeah! Well, I think you'll find he's completely natural. He's said so several times. He only ever took the pre-runner to steroids. Any other news that I've missed?
Probably not. Sure. You hoover it up pretty well, mate. And I pay no attention, so...
There's a rumour of backstage heat between MJF and Tony Khan.
Oh, I heard that, but I don't believe anything involving heat with MJF just because he lives in kayfabe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly...
He's made him mad, has he?
In response, Triple H, I'm really sad he's not going to get... Because I think he had one more... I think he had a retirement match in him. Yeah. Obviously, he didn't because of the heart problems and the pacemaker, but, not knowing that information. And all the people he
wanted it against in AEW now.
And
wrestling children have gone.
Pop a pump into the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
It's going to be the fucking best.
Yeah. And, yeah, if it's Ember Moon or Toni Storm, I'm really happy. Because they're both really good.
I know you love Ember Moon, because you've talked about it.
Wish she was on our list for joining as a person, but coach, one of my originals.
Match, which was really good. I know Toni Storm trained in Stardom, which pleases me.
She's style-wise, she's very much your girl, but look-wise,
her and Hater can go to shit at a town on each other. Yeah, look-wise, she fits my design.
Well, look-wise, she fits mine because she's a massive Motley Crue fan. Her outfit is all Motley Crue based.
None of them are as good as if Tony Khan has driven his dump truck of money up Lesbian Mountain to get
yes, but it's not going to happen. Well, though, then again, we said that about Punk.
Yeah, fair.
We said that about Punk.
Bring her back, Tony Khan.
So, you need to start a Twitter campaign. You should start a Twitter campaign because he won't think about it until you start a Twitter campaign. Support our Twitter campaign to bring back Kagetsu to AEW.
Kagetsu and Hazuki, bring her down as well. They look
so, moving on, social media, and that's you again, Mr. Strange.
Oh, I've got 2 bits. One small, BT 300's out. I actually enjoyed it and made the effort to watch it because it's got a lot of the old jokes that I used to enjoy from before it rotated, and it's still got Adam Cole in it for everybody else, I guess. But the more big, important news that I have loved on social media, relevant topics that tie into conspiracies. Will Smith's slap was a fucking work. Yeah. Taz has said it, Lawler said it, Bischoff has said it, Jose said it. It's a fucking work because no one gives a shit about millionaires giving other millionaires trophies.
I would care about Millionaire Celebrity Deathmatch.
Exactly.
I would care about that.
Yeah.
Sadly, it won't get worked into a full match because they're not as good as Lawler and Kaufman. But he braces, his hands behind his back, he grits his teeth for the slap. The slap comes in solid. I've watched a fucking stuntman break this down as well. Will Smith was giving lessons on cinema slapping to kids weeks before. The show was sponsored by Pfeiffer, who have now literally yesterday released a new alopecia medicine. It's a fucking work. Wrestlers told me this.
So yeah, what culture? So the news was so slow yesterday morning that What Culture had this in their news segment, which is how I actually found out about it.
Really?
Well, because I went to work early in the morning, did a test, came home, which I had to walk home because obviously I couldn't get a taxi back. So it took a while to get home. By which time I got home, What Culture? I went to bed, and What Culture had done this feature, and they were like, "We're not sure if it's a work." And I've had a message off a friend of mine going, "You're into wrestling, right? Was that slap real?"
Hi there, welcome to my conspiracy podcast. I'm going to explain every question now that gets brought up by Mo.
I have no real questions.
I'm bored!
I watched it, and genuinely, I thought that slap was a load of shit. A worst case scenario, that was a shit slap. Or it was a legit fake, worked slap. Fine. I could go with either option in all fairness. The only thing that pushed it over was his reaction after, where he's saying, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. Just purely because of the fines that come with it.
It's so weird that Oscar award-winning actor Will Smith would be able to put out an angry response after
No.
Did you know he's had a bad...
The money it would cost the Oscars because of the swearing on the network.
No. Will Smith has had a bad reputation recently in the media and has lost his masculinity in response to, his wife fucking his son's friend for 3 years. She's got a bad rep, so Will Smith needs to make himself look masculine again to regain the audience. There's a fucking alopecia medicine released by the sponsor of the Oscars yesterday. They need to show that they're a strong relationship because that's fallen apart. And the Chris Rock and Chris Tucker tickets tripled in sales overnight, would you believe? And after 5 years of Oscar viewership plummeting, the biggest spike ever. It's a work. Don't buy it, Marks.
I woke up, and what would have been a lot better, the first thing I read, I missed the Chris bit. So I read Will Smith slaps Rock.
Face in the crowd.
That would have been WrestleMania.
If it had been real, Big Rock would have got up to defend his friend, Small Rock, and just fucking slapped Will Smith's
the pebble.
Will Smith's head would have flown so far it would have landed in his wife's boyfriend's lap.
Right, let's move on from strangest conspiracy theories. I thought you were going to mention the Buff Bagwell thing.
So did I.
Oh, sorry, I got excited about my conspiracy. Go on, what have you take out? I've talked a lot, and I've got to talk a lot more in a minute.
Go on, you talk. Go on, Morg. I don't talk, so...
Buff Bagwell released a tweet. Buff is for everyone. Just a nice bit of wholesome message promoted from a wrestler, which is always nice to see, especially a wrestler from that era.
Sales of his shirts going to some trans charity?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe the sales of that T-shirt going to a trans charity. Yeah.
A lovely lad.
Yeah. Won a lot of points. Never one of my favourites.
Trans top hats.
I would.
Big Buff Bagwell.
He was just never one of my favourites.
No fair.
Right.
It was all about his mum. She overshadowed him.
Yeah, literally at one point. Right, it's that time. It's time for the review of Dynamite. And we start off this week Dynamite, JR Schiavone, Excalibur on commentary, and we open with CM Punk versus Dax Harwood. Punk wins with the Anaconda Vice. Thoughts and scores on the match?
What a lovely collar and elbow wrestling start. God, I love it when wrestling starts with wrestling. It's got a good pace, all clean, nice and even. Dax finally gets a bit of an edge. He's still got a few Healy shenanigans. I thought they'd probably gone full face with their "Please Bret Hart become our manager" gimmick, but maybe he's still got the healiness. Obviously, Dax is distracted by the guns, and then a missed diving headbutt brings Punk back into the fight. And he does well until he catches a top rope dick bounce, which, takes anyone out of the fight. And then that fucking neck-breaking rope spill-out thing. This is happening a lot in AEW recently. Just go back to some clotheslines over the top rope. Get a few ugly struggles, which is nice. I fucking love Dax's slingshot Liger Bomb. It's wonderful. Commentary said power bomb. It's not a power bomb. It's a Liger Bomb. He drops with it, and the feet go over the legs into a pinning position. Brett fanboy Dax goes in for a sharpshooter, obviously, which is counted as the Anaconda Vice. 1, 2, 3. Some story would have made this ace. It was good, and I was gonna give it a high C because I think story would have taken it into a B. Then I cut it down to a C again because Phil did the belt action, and I fucking hate that belt action. No. I suppose it technically is a B on just Raw wrestling and actually being good. I think maybe I finished a bit jaded. Just story would have made it so much better if there'd been any mini feud build-up other than we both like Bret Hart, I suppose. He's not here!
I enjoyed it. I gave this a B. I thought there was story, just not a lot of story. Because it's obviously pushing the face turn, or pushing the fact that there's going to be a gun rivalry shortly, I'm sure. I think there will be a little something with Punk, just maybe because of the MJF Wardlow thing and the split up of the Pinnacle. They're probably going to use him as the sort of crowbar, I guess. Brain has gone numb. Not Dax. Who's the other one?
Yeah.
Cash.
Thanks.
Thank you. Fucking hell. He came down
wrestling
and
podcast.
we know it all. He came down and just did the lovely face banging the side of the mat to get people to clap to get Dax up and stuff. No interference and stuff. So I think there was story there. And I thought this was a damn solid match. Like I said, I gave this a B. That Liger Bomb, absolutely lovely. Really enjoyed a few bits. I don't like the where he back of the neck goes into the corner of the turnbuckle. It just makes me wince every time for broken necks. I don't know why.
Sting and Seth Rollins.
Fuck yeah. It doesn't look cool enough to be worth it, in my opinion. I don't know. It might just be me. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I'm not going to waffle anymore. I've done my bit.
I instigated the best friend rule on this, so I'm going to have to say it's a B. That's not the score I gave it originally because I downgraded it under the best friends rule of the assuming it was a Punk match, and I therefore thought it was better than it was. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was, and I think the story was all in the match. And we've said this before. You can have a B, and the story was all the face turn, and I thought it was brilliant. The lack of little shortcuts, but still having those moments, so we've not completely turned in the ring, but our personalities are turning. And like you said, Cash, Mo, completely agree. Cash coming down and just cheerleading, not getting involved. I think the Gun Club are good shit tier heels for them to have their first face versus heel feud with. And I think they'll have some good fun promos actually with them.
Think they'll get a feud out of it?
I think it'll be a short. It'll be a short, maybe one or two. I don't think it'll be
a Rampage beating. That's what I'm predicting.
I hope not. I'm hoping it's a mini feud.
I'd take a mini feud.
I mean, it does. 2 matches, one on Rampage, one on Dynamite, mini feud, mainly for the promos because I think their promos will be funny. I think the promos will be fun with those two being quite serious but good guys, and the other two just being a couple of dicks. And then I'm looking forward to Acclaimed versus FTR, which I think is the next step. I think that'll be a really good match.
I'm looking forward to the Acclaimed next rap.
Oh, yes. Moving on from there, we had the Jericho Appreciation Society promo. Thoughts?
I've got 4 notes on the Canadian Cocaine Society. Jericho's words were solid. Garcia still makes me angry. I don't mind them saying future endeavour. It's not a shoot word. It is, but it isn't. You can still be future endeavoured. And Jericho really wants that's entertainment to be over, doesn't he? Doesn't he want it to be
yeah,
over?
and it will be.
It's not going down. Normally, a little bit of the bubbly and shit like that were instantly things. He's struggling with this one.
It took a little while for the list to get over, and then all of a sudden it was the biggest. That's how Jericho works. I'm not sure if the influencer's getting over as much as he'd like. Sorry, Mo, your thoughts?
No, yeah, it is what it was. The only things I had written down was that Jericho forgot Reynolds' name and had to stall for a little bit. And he has fangs, and I never realised that before.
What?
He has like vampire fangs almost. Not like super sharp, but just like his incisors are massive. I don't know why I've never noticed that in the 15
Jericho?
years. Jericho, yeah, not Reynolds, who wasn't on the screen. I might be seeing things I may have been.
What
I'm
is
not sure.
Jericho a vampire? He's getting younger again, which means he's closer to a title. It's possible. Or it's hair plugs.
Tony Schiavone's been at him. Tony Schiavone's been at him.
Fuck me, a flashback to the Brides of Tony Schiavone. That was it's old reference, Mo. Don't worry, it's from the start where every week Tony Schiavone would appear with a new woman and he didn't have a shadow because he was always on a green screen. Like Vampire Brides of Tony Schiavone.
Right, following on from that, we had Sting and Darby and the Hardys versus Private Party and Butcher and Blade in an 8-man tornado tag match. Faces win with Sting and Matt Hardy pinning Private Party. Thoughts and scores?
Last week we got called cowards for not sticking with ranks. So here we go. I'm going to open with my first comment. Just because Jeff Hardy jumps off a ladder doesn't make it a good match, does it? Does it? Obligatory Butcher's beautiful comment. God, I love him. He's a big, handsome man. And then we get some dives and a clusterfuck. And Darby's the only face who's losing to the heels. Big Dime's Butch fighting in the crowd. Otherwise, faces are just battering the heels. Andrade whips Darby to get the Butcher scene of him swinging him into the walls and then throwing him down the stairs was fucking wicked. But I think all of the neither wrestlers fucking love working with Butcher because he had great time with Phoenix as well. This triggers the break and the heels pout for their mandatory control spot and just people are fighting all over. The camera doesn't know where to look. Just a clusterfuck. Haven't seen Jeff all match. He was gone after the initial clusterfuck. Matt Hardy health potions just before the break ends. He almost beats Pro Party, but they dick punch him and then all suicide threw some tables together for some reason. Could have just pushed him off. Pans back to the other faces who are now just beating Butcher and the Blade. Don't know how that happened. They just were all of a sudden. Jeff shows up to Jeff off a ladder through a table. Back in the ring, Sting arrives to save Matt to do some no-selling. Then a clumsy setup for the double finisher spot. I'm going to go with Jim Cornette. Just because you've got a clusterfuck of random series of events doesn't make it a good match. There was no story, no continuity. The winner was super telegraphed, like most of the matches in this. It was a bad match. I'm going to give it a D. You can't just sell me random flashy events and go, it's a good... You can't show me that fucking film with Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum where he's a space wolf man. Jupiter Rising or whatever it is, and go, it's a good film just because it's got effects, pretty people, and flashy things happen. It's a bad film. This match was not a good match. It's a low C at best. Fight me.
So, I've gone through 3 different gradings for this match, and I've now watched it twice. Because, so, I had the initial knee-jerk reaction of B. Gave it a B initially. But I put next to it, I'm not sure why. So I put B, I'm not sure why. Watched the rest of Dynamite. And then at the end of Dynamite, I was like, I want to watch that match again. Because I don't know much of what happened. Went back And yeah, I gave it a D, and then I brought it up to a low C because I was like, this isn't the worst thing. This isn't the worst thing that's been created. It's just discombobulated. I don't know what the fucking right word is. It was like you said, it was like a clip show. It was kind of like that. One of the weirdest things for me, actually, is watching Private Party come down to the ring with Andrade's music. They do not tie together. That is the weirdest thing, because that is a lot of hype for a non-hype song. that took me out the second time. Some of this did look really good, like the Butcher smashing Darby across the stairs onto the concrete and then hoiking him down the stairs and stuff. There were some really nice bits in this. But like you said, even the camera didn't know who to go to at what point, and the ending just felt a bit chonky. I don't know where.
Jeff jumped off a ladder.
Well, yeah, I've seen that 1,000 times. I was gonna go for low C, but I think you've actually turned me to D. I think you have.
Negativity wins.
I must be tired. Fuck it, D.
I haven't rewatched it. I haven't rewatched it. I went off my initial reaction, and it was just an enjoyable clusterfuck. It was just lots of shit happened, and it was nice and easy to watch. I gave it a B for being an enjoyable. But now you guys have described it.
I can watch it.
Yeah, see, because I went the other. As soon as Mo said it, as soon as Mo went, I went for that initial B, and after Stranger's review, I was going, yeah, those things did happen. And then Mo went, yeah, initially I gave it a B, and I was like, yeah, I see where this is going.
I only wrote 5 things down for that massive clusterfuck of lots of shit happening. I only wrote 5 down, which I think is why I put that. I'm not sure why I've given this a B. Do you know what I mean? Weird.
To make Morg watch it again, live film his reactions with my commentary playing in the background as it happens.
Right, so then we have Shivani and FTR interview.
Club are our new enemies now. We forgot that we had a thing with the Bucks last week. It'll be alright. Good little feud, wrestling C in it.
I think it'll move back to the Bucks. I think the Gun Club are a distraction. They're just for them to turn face on specifically.
You can't do a big feud with the FTR yet at the moment. They're having their beef for the Ring of Honor show with the Briscoes, and that's going to eat all the hype of expanded wrestling fans for a while. People have waited.
That may also be, of course, why the face turn's happening. So there can be a face team going against the Briscoes. So following on from that, we cheer as Regal joins commentary, and we have Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart versus Bryan Danielson and Mox. Cobra Bry win by submission. Thoughts and scores.
I'm going to open with a side comment which ties more into the promo at the end of why show so much Julia in this match if you're not going to have her get up to join him at the end. That would have been fucking sick, and I was ready for it. No entrance for the Blondes. F for them, obviously. And we just get straight into the boys kicking the shit out of Pillman. Griff's just dead for a bit. Kids get a mini comeback before the pain resumes for Griff, and they had to eat shit for Pick and Pick. He gets his tag to Pillman early, though. A paradigm spot for Pillman to shine, and he does get a good showing, actually. Pillman's been a bit... He's needed something to do since he fucked up his jump into the ring a few weeks or months back, whatever. And the break ends and Pillman just gets annihilated. Lots of mini comebacks, but they're always overskilled. And it did show that they were outskilled, out-brutaled, which I quite liked. And then it was over. It was good. Squash, but it was a squash with a show and a bit of story. I didn't write down a rank, so I'm going to wait for you guys to say things, just because...
So I gave it a high C. I really enjoyed it. It was relatively quick. Like you said, it was squash-ish, but it wasn't a squash. They got some bits in. You know, there was some actual to and fro. I was exactly like you, going, oh, they're going to do the Julia Hart thing here. They're brilliant. Looking forward to this. She sat there pouting on the steps and stuff, paying no attention to the match. I was like, excellent. Right, okay, there's going to be a cool little thing at the end. Let's see if she slaps Regal. Or, sorry, Regal slaps her. That's what I was hoping for.
That would have been sick.
Yeah. I think the main reason I'm giving this a high C is not necessarily the wrestling, which was solid and great. Fucking Regal on commentary. I feel like he's getting his own story as well as this story. Like, he's got the Cobra Bryce story and he's got Regal on commentary. Because him and Excalibur, they're getting on great now. He's getting impressed by him. Didn't know him last week. Every week something new for Excalibur. I'm just a Regal fan, and it's going to happen consistently. Yeah.
Ex-NXT guy. I quite enjoyed this. I gave it a C. I thought the match was really solid. It wasn't a squash. It was enough to carry them both over. It would have got a B had Julia Hart done something.
Mate.
And I think that's going to come up in the promo in a second. Exactly the same followers. Yeah, I think it was a C. Had Julia Hart done something in the match, it would have been a B. We then followed on with a Cobra Bry in-ring promo, which is basically a Mox promo. I'll give my score straight away. I gave it a B. It's classic Mox, and it would have got an A if Julia Hart had done something.
8. Mate! Good word from Mox, even though he was a bit blown up. Can't really blame him. They went like 100% that. Is anybody vicious or mean enough? She's been cheating on Dark. She's been doing ropes on the fucking feet on the ropes pins. She's got an eye patch. She's turned mean. Can anybody be mean enough? She's sat right there.
Though that could have been, maybe they were playing clever and they were doing a bit more of a setup for people not like us who've been clocking it. I don't know. Mo, thoughts?
Well, I was just going to say, do you think they're just doing this massive swing away from her and she'll come back around again now? I hope she doesn't. I really fucking hope she doesn't. But then originally I thought she was going House of Black. That was what I originally
but that's
thought.
why this would have turned me round. I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. Can we all have a cheeky laugh at the Blackpool Combat Club then?
Oh yes.
It's I don't know if I like it.
I do, but I did go on Twitter and be like, only British people can appreciate truly how fucking rough Blackpool is.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go on the boat and see the bodies and...
I wonder. I really want to know if Mox and Bry have any fucking idea what that is. Or it's just William Regal going, this will be hilarious.
I'm guessing B-Dan does, because when he trains people... I've listened to some William Regal interviews. He sends them off to do various shows in summery holiday places in the UK. Because as he said, no one will tell you if you're shit better than kids will. I'll go with a B though. I think that's fair. I think this had good energy, but it could have been fucking phenomenal if Julia had just got up and slapped fucking William Regal.
Well, this is where we get interesting. Then we had an MJF in-ring promo. Thoughts and scores.
Oh, he's so hateable. Fucking love him.
Yeah.
Crowd can't stop him with their chants either. He doesn't have a go. He's still mad at Punk. A little bit of continuity. Great shit talking of Wardlow in the regular cheap pops you've got to have, build up that bit of energy. He still owns him! They haven't forgot he owns Wardlow, I did wonder. And Wardlow was taken off the AEW roster page as an interesting side note for I've just read my next note. I'd completely forgotten that he had a Jewish man threaten to crucify Wardlow like Jesus. Fucking hell. 10 out of 10. Best line I've heard in wrestling threads for some time.
That followed a Jesus chant. Chanting Jesus. Fucking ace. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. He's WWEing Wardlow to make him stay at home. Wonderful. Keep your paycheck. There you go. And apparently the Pinnacle's still going. I had a fucking phenomenal time in this promo. I get a B at least from me. It could just be because in response to a Jesus chant, he said he'd crucify him. No, very good.
I gave it a B. This wasn't his best, but it fucking ace. It was still great. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious to watch. loving the Sean Spears Burberry chair. Yeah, all that. Yeah, it's both of those together are great to watch. Even with Sean Spears doing fuck all, he's still entertaining. Yeah, love it.
I was a bit bored by this.
Oh, he doesn't like heels.
I found no, but normally I like MJF. I just found him a bit long-winded. Normally he's one of the people I would automatically give an a B to. I've written C exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark because it's MJF, who I would normally just go, yeah, it's a B, it's MJF. I couldn't give it a D because it wasn't shit, but it was a bit Cody Rhodes, Jericho long. He did go on a bit, or I found he went on a bit, and the whole bit with Wardlow went on a bit.
Oh, look at this! We're all in different directions this week.
Yeah, it wasn't as sharp. It wasn't as sharp as normal for me. Right, so, oh God, Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal. Cole wins with the boom after a low blow. Thoughts and scores. Get your anger out, Strange.
First off, you missed a bit. Sorry. Wheeler and the best friends. Wheeler leaving the best friends of Trent kicking off.
Trent was being Trent. It needs some my confidence. It was very skippable.
Oh, 100%.
It's probably why Morg hasn't even got notes on it. He's in control. Right. Unless you've got anything to add to me being cynical about... No. Can't we just have one show without him? Just one. Adam Cole versus Lethal. Really good wrestling start, which makes me mad because it's how a match should start, and I hate Adam Cole. Lethal's got great punches, though, hasn't he? It's pretty even, nice, some smooth strikes between them. Good paced, chemistry. I fucking hate him. Red Dragon come out so Lethal could be distracted for heel 101 in picture-in-picture. Lethal does get some offense in it, though, so that's nice. Gets his health back as the break ends, and there's suddenly a slightly clumsy rollabout into a figure four. And super kicks, cool. Lethal rolls hilariously to... He basically walked into the Panama Sunrise fucking spot by the Buckles. Lethal could have won, but there was a Red Dragon distraction. Oh, no, and then I did laugh when he handspringed onto the dick punch. That did properly make me chuckle, if I'm honest. I watch Adam Cole punch somebody in the dick at least 4 times a week now, so this match started as a B. As much as I hate Adam Cole being in everything, he is a clean and tight wrestler. And this match started tight, wrestly, clean, and then just turned into what I'm seeing every week now. Red Dragon come out, there's a distraction, and then he punches someone in the dick. And it is every week. Started as a B, finished as a C, so I'm going to give it a C.
I to a point agree with you. I didn't drop it as low as a C, though. I just put a low B in the end. I didn't drop it that far down. I think it just took a little bit of the shine off. It also got a little bit shonky at the end. Not shonky, but it didn't feel as crisp by the end. Everything was just slightly off. The beginning of it, they seemed really smooth. There was this really nice sort of like... it was like an arm drag, cartwheel, hip toss, drop kick thing that Lethal did that looked great.
He looks great.
Yeah, but I kind of only would have worked on someone like Adam Cole, though. I think, sorry. But
if only there were any other short, white, flippy people in AEW. Any at all.
Unfortunately not, mate. So you're just going to have to put up with it. He's filling a niche. Yeah. That's kind of the only extras I had to it, really, from what you've got. I thought it was a very enjoyable part from the end.
Is it right? No, that's unfair.
You're ill. I can't tell if that was a good all right, a low, a bad all right, or a medium all right.
Yeah, it was all right. It was a C. I enjoyed it. There was nice flippy bits. There was stuff happened. There was no story. It was a C. It was a good match with no real story. And the story in the match is typical heel 101. Yeah. Win by shenanigans. Then we had a Cole in-ring promo. Hangman comes out, beat down on Hangman, Jurassic Express for the save. Thoughts and scores.
It's the end of every AEW match now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone does something, somebody else does something. Jurassic Express runs out because apparently they can run out to defend fucking anyone. More on that later. I've only got... my notes are I phased out because I'm so sick of him. I'm as bored of dick punches as I am super kicks. Those are my only notes. He stole the belt though, so I'm not ranking it. I'm done.
I didn't bother giving this a rank either, in all honesty. Hey, I like a good title steal as much as any 14-year-old. So I am very much looking forward to this part of it to see what they do with it. You know?
Oh, you'll just have it back next week. Yeah. Nah. I don't even think it was wrestling.
Let's
just
go from
about.
one mare to another.
Rampage promo. Lance Archer and Dustin Rhodes.
I'm just gonna read out my 4 notes. I'm not gonna rank this because it's a filler story build, but we'll read out my notes in order and then I'll say nothing else. Where has this feud come from? Where's Jake? Why does Lance need Boomer Man? If Dustin wins, I'll be mad. I'm gonna leave it there.
Oh shit! In hell. Right.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Mo?
No.
One mare to another mare.
We then had Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti in ring segment when Dan Lambert comes out, as they call out Paige Van Zant and the other guy. Thoughts and scores.
I am in fact passing it on now. This is now in fact the Sammyverse. He has inherited Cody's role and place, and he's got his big face energy, but once again, I still don't think Sammy feels very authentic on the mic. He sounds a bit like he's reading lines from this, which is from a man who literally reads from a book when he's recording. But that's okay. Tay is Tay. She's better in Spanish. You should let her... Or Brazilian. I don't know.
Portuguese.
Is it Portuguese? It's Spanish based. Right, Tay is Tay, as I said. Boomer people come out. Boomer Man's voice is already gone. I said no to their being called out match. That made me laugh. I do enjoy that. And They Have Sex has now made it onto TV. That's their gimmick. Look, they have sex. Remember when they didn't want people to pry into their private lives after Sammy broke up with the woman he was engaged to and started dating this? And they went, oh, don't pry into our private lives. You know, we appreciate the... we have sex. Look, people can have sex. We did a page on the belt. Wonderful. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I'm not burnt out from Dan Lambert yet. I find him so.
I like Dan
entertaining.
Lambert.
Okay, yeah.
I just
love
don't give a
lucha
fuck
horrors.
about Sammy.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, the fact I like the way he ripped into them, but I was so ambivalent about the rest of it. If like, I was entertained by the words he said, not the segment he was in. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
no. And again. I didn't even give this a score. I was just like, yeah, okay, that was funny. Oh, he just kissed some cum. Right.
I did. I gave it a D.
Oh, I thought you said you
You
kissed
know
some
what?
cum.
I'm gonna agree with Morg. There we go. Morg.
As much as we watched it, and the sophomoric humour at the end, I said to the Raptor, well, you got to have some sophomoric humour occasionally. And Dan Lambert sold it brilliantly. I still thought the whole segment was shit, and I love Ty and I love Sammy. In fact, I love Vince McMahon would have been fucking pissing himself at this, and that's probably why I wasn't.
It's probably because wrestlers get to write their own bits and gimmicks and such like with a little help, and Sammy no longer has an inner circle to keep him in control, and for some reason him and Tay seem to think that everybody gives a fuck about their intimate life, as opposed to most of us are adults. We've had sex lives. It's okay.
Well, I think it's the soap opera part. It's probably Tony Khan thinks it's a pushable angle to have a couple who are wrestlers. But, yeah.
Become heels if they're going to say they had sex and try to rub it in people's faces.
Then the world was saved. Ricky Starks and Swerve promo.
The coolest music promo ever by man. I didn't even rank it. I just wrote down good music. This is going to be a very cool match. More on that later, I guess. Big cinematic energy. I wish they were all on the same side as opposed to against each other, just so I could have more cool music combos from cool people being cool.
I didn't give this a score. I watched it and went, yeah. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, knowing that they have a history.
It was just such a breath of fresh air after the piece of shit beforehand.
Yeah, no fair. It did go to like proper, and I was like, oh.
And I fucking love Swerve. Yeah, he's slowly becoming my new favourite. And I'm totally not his demographic for his gimmick, the hip hop star. But God, he's awesome. Then we had Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. Layla wins with the turnbuckle. Layla beat down on Velvet. Statlander, dark emo Statlander for the save. Thoughts and scores.
Haven't I seen this match 5 days before? No, I've watched this. I'm really annoyed, actually. I'm going to say it again. This match started so much better than it finished. They went straight into a Stardom outside fight, and there was no fucking about at the beginning of this match. Some proper brutality. Then it just went straight into picture-in-picture, didn't it? Hirsch takes heel control. She does some of her suplexes and brutality. That was nice. Break end, the face comeback, the routine. Rope catch suplex was a little clumsy, but they started through. We almost see the same loss, but later goes for her only gimmick, except twice now, and does a particularly weak bar bump. Started much better than it finished this match. It started, and I went, this could be a B, guys. I've seen Velvet have a Stardom match with Hayter before. This could be it. It could be the high-speed women's brutality match. And then it just went blur. Started as a potential B. Finished as a D, didn't it?
I'm really glad you went there. Because I was like, have I like really harshly viewed
Hey, mate,
this?
those first like 3 minutes and some of the pick and pick breathing were really good. Pace, kicking, going for it. And then it's like somebody went, oh yeah, you've got to do the match routine because Statlander's the only person who matters in this feud. And then match.
I don't think it even hit 3 minutes of good. In all honesty, I was bored very quickly. It had this instant pace to, no pace for the entire rest of the match. Was just like you could just about see the pace, maybe from a distance, just a tiny bit. Even the, obviously I know you're meant to slow down, her putting the second turnbuckle thing in her pants and all that sort of stuff, because you obviously want the cameras to see it. But even that felt like half an hour. Like it was just so slowly done. And, yeah, it's actually made me give less of a fuck about Statlander's change, I guess.
Yeah, the momentum for it is
fucking off. It's really off. I mean, they might bring it back. Like, it's like you said, all of them are really good. They are fucking good. But this just missed every mark going.
Meh.
Hey.
Hey, yes. So I just write down D, Morg. Are you about good a sound of misery from me?
It was a low C. It started off with so much promise. And the beatdown at the end, it was just, yeah. It was a low C. It was a C. It wasn't hideous. It wasn't a squash. It had enough good in it to outweigh it. But yeah, it was alright.
Oh, this show.
I guess.
This week.
Following on from that, Jade Cargill and Mark Sterling promo.
What did she say? Was this her baddest promo?
Yes.
This is I want green Lamborghinis, money coming from the ceiling.
It's not as good as another social media thing, actually. This week, Jade on Twitter put, yo, ladies, I want to see your baddest pictures, and just fucking loads of wrestlers and women putting themselves looking badass, or let's just say Rob Van Dam approved of the thread.
Excuse me, I'm just going to Twitter.
But one of the comments was, Jade has done more for feminism in one tweet than Heels did in the entirety of its run, which is the AEW Women's Talk To program. Anyway, it was very wrestling, and it's setting up a meme section. It was alright. It was wrestling.
Is this setting up for Jade's match tonight to be against a surprise signing?
God, it best not be too fucking... Oh, it means it'll be Ember Moon and...
No, I do it as... If that's the case, if you're going to beat Jade, it's got to be Ember Moon. If you just want to pop from the crowd, it's Toni Storm. Ember Moon's the badass. Ember Moon's the badass. You don't. I wouldn't fuck her up by doing her.
Toni Storm went to fucking Stardom.
But yeah, Toni could weather. Toni's gimmick could weather the loss. She's that kind of baby face. Ember Moon has. Ember Moon has the finisher of Doom. That is the gate. She has a game over finisher. She's the one who nearly. Oscar had to cheat to beat her. She was nearly the one who ended Oscar's streak.
WWE Oscar. It's not like real.
Yeah, but no, WWE Oscar. When they were NXT Oscar when she was being booked correctly.
Okay.
I think Ember would also be able to. I mean, it's very difficult to say because it's fucking Jade Cargill, but Ember has a chance of pulling her for a decent match as well. Well,
Toni Storm could as well, actually.
Take her to Stardom.
Toni's real good. Okay, then we had a Thunder Rosa interview / promo. Vicky interrupts. Nyla jumps Rosa, exactly as I predicted last week as soon as she won. That her next... I didn't say it out loud to you guys, but I said, I bet her next... I said to myself, I bet I know who she'll face first. Who does everyone face as soon as they've won the Women's Championship? I didn't rank it.
I wrote down, my first note is, I wonder who will interrupt. Then I hate Vicky so much. She's great that I hate her. And yeah, filler. It was not a good section. I say we skip it unless Mo has any.
I mean, the only thing I'd add to it is this is almost exactly like Hangman Page and Lance Archer.
Yep,
yes.
Almost exactly.
That it's not always the height of incredible creativity. AEW says on their AEW podcast.
Jamie Hayter and Wardlow.
Yeah, they were the first.
Jamie Hayter and Wardlow, both having the same storyline running at the moment.
Have to fight me before you fight my champion, and then I'll turn on you.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be Nyla. I think Nyla and Thunder will have a good match. Nyla is capable of a good match. We've seen her do it with people like Shida.
This is true, but Thunder Rosa does often have a bit of an issue with making the other wrestler look good.
Yeah.
Or she'll have to win the match 5 times.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, yeah. Then we had our main event. Reynolds and Silver with 10 and Alan Angels versus Jericho and Daniel Garcia with 2.0 and Hayter. Garcia wins by submission with the sharpshooter. Thoughts and scores?
It's pretty good. This is how you do a pretty good clusterfuck, as opposed to earlier. Hot open for Silver with Jericho putting him over, and we get some comedy heel selling from Jericho. He enjoys it. That tope brainbuster combo move they do doesn't look as good as they think it does. It looked a bit silly. Pace stops as Jericho shenanigans, giving heel control for picture-in-picture. Kel Surprise. Reynolds eating it. What a twist. He does get some strikes in though and drop kicks Jericho out of the air, which is a really good Jericho. Jericho moonsaults onto his own face. My greatest skill in wrestling. No, there are skills in wrestling, and there is a certain level of confidence that comes with wrestling. And the ability to climb up onto a rope or jump onto a rope, springboard, and sail through the air, backflipping, thinking to yourself, I must land on my face. I can take a bump, I can fall over, I've been thrown, I've been suplexed, I can fall straight onto my back. I couldn't jump onto a rope and backflip onto my own face with confidence. Anyway, that gives access to the Silver Assault, and it's a solid Silver account. And he did a Hager counter into it to mix it up. It wasn't exactly the same as everyone he did. And that was kind of nice, bit of variety. It continues, we get the wonderful Beaver Boys combo sequence, which is one of my favourite things in tag team wrestling. But oh no, shenanigans! And obviously Reynolds eats the loss again. Pretty good. Started clusterfucky, got better. Bit silly. I gave it a high C. How to do a fun fight?
I really enjoyed this. I gave it a B.
Fair.
Straight from there, I just enjoyed it throughout the whole thing. There was a couple of little bits that were a little bit off, but they weren't off-putting to me, at least. I think I said it last week or the week before. I do feel sorry for Reynolds during most of their matches because he is
really good as well.
Yeah, it's not like he has the Jungle Boy persona in the group without the being able to take the shit and come out looking.
He has a
very
better
good at
tag
the
team
end of
partner.
it. Yeah,
Silver's just more over. He's
The-
just got the
yeah.
more over personality.
Although there was one really bad bit when Hungy had a lovely little comeback on the outside of the ring, smashing fools left, right, and centre, jumped up onto the turnbuckle, and I thought the camera might be trying to give him a prostate exam.
Oh, straight up there.
There was nothing but net.
That's something for the girls, mate. Can't all be for us.
Little something for the ladies.
Male inclined people.
Yeah, I'm with Mo. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great fun. I've got no notes, which is always our standard. I've got no notes. I just enjoyed it. Nothing really put me off. I quite like the sharpshooter. It looked solid. There was enough shenanigans from the new heel team without them being overplayed. It didn't feel too overdone yet, which I'm sure it's going to with a group that is supposed to be a massive bunch of comedy heels. But yeah, all in all, gave it a B. Thought it was good.
I think, weirdly, even though he wasn't massively involved, Hager come out of this looking super strong. He's a fucking beast, isn't he?
They're really good at. They're actually quite good at booking Hater. Yeah.
Like Hager.
Hager. They're really good at booking
They're
Hager.
all right at booking Hater. He needs a few more wins.
Yeah, but I mean, they're really good at
streak.
booking Hager. When they realise that he's got a cheeky smile and he just does doing dad joke type stuff, it's really a good thing for him as a babyface. That's what they did with him, and now they'll just book him as a brooding badass again.
As long as they keep him slightly stupid, because that's been the best part of his gimmick for the entire time.
Which he plays up.
Yeah, he does. Oh, shit, that's it, isn't it, boys?
And that's it. Overall rank.
We ended on a high note. Look at that.
Yeah.
After our criticism that we were too neutral last week, we've not been neutral this week, boys. Few disappointing matches, few fucking weak spots, a good bank of all right, good work, Morg soundbite, and some stuff we quite enjoyed, mostly on like the promo sort of stuff. High C. More of a roller coaster than last week's. That's pretty good. Yeah. Glad it ended on a highlight. That.
Before we go in, somebody, Flarecat in their chat on Twitch, has just said Hager, Wardlow and Hater sidekick turned face stable. The Teen Titans of wrestling.
Don't you ruin my fucking golden lioness by making her a face.
It's gonna happen.
She's only been a heel. She is a heel character, and it is okay to like heels. Not 1976 anymore. You don't have to just do the faces.
You know what time it is, Strange?
It's a really rapid, regular Rampage rundown.
It is.
Ready?
Go. Don't ask me any questions because I was too ill to watch Rampage.
It's alright, don't bother, you didn't miss anything. Taz, Jericho, and Excalibur on comms. We open with Dustin versus Lance, and Dustin wins with a buckle bump and roll up. Lance's usual beat up a noob intro from Suzuki Goon that I really love. Sabotaged on the ramp. Boomer Man's also here for some reason. You can tell it's a Rhodes match. We get a mini outside scuffle. Archer instantly tears off the buckle at the start of the match, so you know he's going into it. Dustin did senton himself onto the outside floor. That was a bit of a move. Get a few strikes. Dustin is selling like he's been in a 20-minute match from the start and is down quite a lot. Just cut his ear or something though, so you know, not intentional bleeding. More on that in a minute. It's already slow as we go into picture-in-picture. We have Dustin come back afterwards. He does the classics. He did a crossroads. Match actually picks up a bit for that. And then Archer hits his own buckle roll up 1, 2, 3. It wasn't shit. It wrong win. It was clean. It was all right. I'd give it a low C, I'd guess. What were you going with, man?
I gave it a straight C. I didn't think it was that bad in the
I could
slightest.
go for a straight C. I'm very mad about Archer just being a fucking jobber now.
Can I just? Sorry, I haven't watched this match. It's a D.
Morg's with he hated Lance Archer originally as well.
And I love Dustin. Don't fucking feed Lance to Dustin.
He wasn't really fed though. Dustin was getting his ass handed to him the whole way round. It's because Dustin's the local boy, isn't it? It was the local boy win on Rampage rather than on the main.
Yeah, whatever. But don't worry. Afterwards, we get a post-match beatdown, so that Lance can beat all of the jobbers from their stable, and being a Rhodes, Dustin can cut himself, so he's bleeding. Because we can't. Getting through a scene where a Rhodes doesn't bleed is a rare one. But we're back on form. Lance did put Dustin through the bell table. It's back, boys. We had 2 weeks off. Anyway. Lethal did a promo. It was kind of friendly. He's got friendly dad energy as Jay Lethal. He's struggling with cheats, which is fair. Because everybody has cheated him to win, and he's off to pick his new gimmick, is basically what the promo told us. Will it be his Ric Flair gimmick? Will it be his Macho Man gimmick? As long as it's a gimmick based off an old 80s wrestler, I'm happy. He did say there has to be a way on the way out, and I gave this a C as well, because I quite like Jay Lethal.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, yeah. There was a little bit of me wondering whether, obviously, it's, like you said, it's a gimmick change. Is it him going to the, fuck it, I'm going to turn heel eventually? He's got to go and think about it, all that. He's just going to go, fuck it.
His face. Yeah.
Oh, no. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree. However...
we'll see. Maybe, apparently, for all of it. Apparently, if they're going to turn my precious Jamie Hayter face, they need to counterbalance it, I guess. Right, Fuego comes in to build up a spot for some other people. He has an underdog promo. He talks about fighting all of the House of Black. Then they all teleport into the ring and annihilate him. Then the Smash Bros and Beaver Boys of Dark Order come down to face off with them. It was a bit weird. I don't see why you'd give Fuego so much face talky time for it to just be they're going to feud with the Dark Order spot. Weird.
Joining the Dark Order?
Maybe, I suppose his tag team partner, Fuego 2, has gone to WWE, so... dropped my pen.
The massive GT, like, super high two-person combo GTS he received looked really cool, though.
That's right, and Brody King did do a move I thought was quite good afterwards, his under driver thingy.
Yeah.
And the Boomer people came out to restate that Sky's had 700 wins on Dark and that they're getting rid of the Open Challenge because why not? They'll come back at some point, I'm sure. Whatever. Next, 15 and Red Dragon teleport into the ring. No entrances for anyone. The undisputed win with Chasing the Dragon. Open with them beating on 5. A man who once went like 20 minutes with Kenny Omega and Phoenix in separate singles match. He's really good on his own. Then 10 gets in and beats up Riley. He no-sells the first set of heel shenanigans, which I quite liked when Bobby Fish tried to ambush him. He just ran through it. Made me chuckle. But the second one gets him for the heel picture-in-picture control. Riley should throw some particularly weak elbows in the heel spot. And the break ends. Super healing synonym 5. I'm running out of them. 5 gets his hot tag, and he gets a really good hot tag, and Angels has need a decent showing for a while. Anyway, he eventually loses up and gets put into a submission, which 10 breaks with a fucking spine buster straight into the submission. I was like, doesn't look safe for anyone, and I like it when things aren't safe for anybody. Anyway, finisher, and it's over. Match didn't really get going, which was a shame. Gave it a C, it was right.
Yeah, I gave it C too. I think it just keeps harkening as the last sort of couple of months or 6-7 weeks maybe, where 10 keeps getting his mask flipped and flipped. And that's
time for him to lose his mask. Just take it off him.
I think they need to now.
Quick comment from the chat, FlareCat85, talking about Jay Lethal. Sounds similar to his tag run in Ring of Honor, where Lethal and Gresham were fed up with cheats, so started cheating themselves. Then randomly became a faction that was super into technical wrestling and being for the rules.
Oh, Gresham's free. He's Ring. Oh, there's been rumours of Gresham joining them. That's thank you, insightful FlareCat. Wonderful. That could be a tie-in because we need more wrestlers for AEW. Anyway, this entire match was just a transitional point, just so obviously the dinosaur people can run out, so Cole can steal the belts. Because God help us if we had a show without Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Adam Cole. Just one show without any of them. Maybe somebody else could run out to a ring to help people. Fuck knows. Nyla versus Rosa promo. Much better than the shit they showed on Dynamite. Actual some heat, some energy between them. I suppose you have to have that lame beatdown to allow this promo to happen, but you could have done it better. So stop me if you need to say anything about any of this shit I'm going through. Nyla versus Maddie Renkowski. F's in the chat for Maddie and D's in the scores for this squash match. There we go. Last all of 30 seconds. Now the best part of the show. It's left me in fucking bits. QT Marshall certificate of accomplishment moment being issued to Hook. Classic wrestling bullshit. I'm starting to like QT again. I loved him for a bit up until that Nightmare Family feud where he broke up with Cody. He does shitty bollocks heel so well, especially as the man who trades him. He's got Solo with him. Walks down, looks at the certificate, smashes Solo through it, leaves. I was in fucking bits. I was kind of expecting him just to take it and leave with it, and I would have accepted that as well. Like, here's your certificate. Oh, thanks. Just leave. I was in fucking bits. Then Danhausen comes down to curse him on the stairway. Not sure it needed this spot, but he no-sold Danhausen's cursing anyway. And I gave this an S. It was the best thing in wrestling this week.
Fucking hell. I gave it a B.
All right, we'll have to agree on an A.
It was great. It was good fun.
When you control the scores, there's a method to get what you want.
So hang on. So I just from your description, Strange, I agree with you.
Yes.
Fuck you, Morg. Fuck you.
Oh. I'm just glad they're adding more to Hook without compromising his character, because he needs to be involved in more and do more story stuff and actually become more than just man who wins. And QT helped sell this perfectly for that moment.
Do you think this is now a transitional thing for Hook moving on to a best friends / Danhausen thing? Or
I don't know. He's got to grow in some way. But on the other hand, he's got a perfect character. We can just have him leave the situation, which is quite nice. And we don't have to watch him every week. We get like 2 weeks off before I mark out for Hook like he's an anime character. Sorry, we're giving that an S. Thanks, Mo. Moving on to the next part of the show. Mark Henry interviews Swerve and Starks and Hobbs. And it's honestly the best Mark Henry actual interview there's been. Because it actually felt like they were aggressive at each other for the match. Starks doing some good shitty healing, some good words back from Swerve, as opposed to just his big cool energy. And they were shouting at each other, and Henry actually had to cut them off to announce the fight, which actually made it feel legit. Gave it a B. One of the better mid-match sections we've had, and probably the best Mark Henry actual fight interview there's been.
I gave it a high C, but I'm happy to actually bump that up to a B.
Look at us ending with some positivity. And the match was alright. It was alright. Swerve and Starks for the meme belt. Starks wins with the Rochambeau. Look at Mo's face. He wants to hear what I've got to say. Taz, some of Starks' friends have stood at commentary. They've got a sign, and Taz is making up jobs for him. Like, he's his hairdresser, he's his tailor. Pretty good.
Cobbler was my favourite.
Yeah, we get a great start, actually. A lock-up and some wrestling. Who fucking raved? How a match should start. Goes into some rope running and some lucha exchanges. There are a couple of little slight pauses on pacing, but it wasn't match ruining at this point. Look at Mo's face. Stays even in the break. Starks does a weird people's coffin drop. A little bit strange, and it just started getting a little clumsier, weirdly. Some stuttering in pace, things weren't that smooth. Starks did do a step-up DDT, which is one of my absolute favourite moves, and I love them, so there's a point for that. They'll never do it as well as Naito, but here we are. Picked up for the finish with a couple of nice sequences for Swerve, but just a few slips in it. Just people who had so much chemistry on the mic and such a hot start, the chemistry sort of fell apart towards the end. Starks kicks out of Lucha Underground Killshot's finisher, the diving stomp to the head. I don't know if that's Swerve's finisher, but it was definitely Killshot's. Then some Hobbs shenanigans. Rochambeau, 1, 2, 3. I gave this a C. Overall, the story in the match was good enough for me. It should have been a B, and it started hotter. All of the possible capabilities here and the build-up, I really wanted this to be a B. And just those stumbles and chemistry problems. So I dropped it to a C, and now Mo is going to tell me why it was a D.
I have 2 scores. I have a low C and a D. And I didn't know whether I gave it a D because of how fucking disappointed I was. Because again, I was looking forward to this, especially from the Mark Henry thing, and even the bits beforehand last week, and that. I was going into this hyped. You know, they fought each other before. I've heard good things. I have not watched what they've done before, but I've heard good things about it. Cool. One of the first things I wrote is, "Wow, this got shonky quickly."
Didn't it?
It just everything just seemed a little like one's here, the other's here. Like nothing was flowing. It didn't feel like the beautiful violent ballet that it should have been. It just felt like whether there was just someone wanted to call it in the ring and the other person wanted to call it in the ring, but they wanted to be the general. No, I don't know. Like I'm just putting fucking words in there, but everything just didn't connect.
Yeah.
And I thought I lost myself. Not like I've said it in previous things, I've lost interest in it. I didn't lose interest in it. I lost my will to want to watch wrestling for a little while after it. Because they should have been a lot fucking better. They are a lot better. Ricky Starks is genuinely one of my favourite things in wrestling at the minute. Absolutely love him to pieces. When Swerve's come out to other stuff, it's been great. His backstage shit has been great. I was hoping for everything. But even at that weird stompy kill shot finisher thing, it looks like it doesn't connect at all. Like nothing to do with it. The 2 times I've seen him do it, it looks shit. And I don't know whether that's because they always do this beautiful straight down camera shot of it, or whether they need to have it more of an angle, and it'll probably look a lot better like that. I'm fucking talking myself into the fucking D. I did not enjoy.
Giving it a low C. I did not. I'll give it the lower rank for you. It's all right. I cheeked in an S earlier. Anyway, the match ends, and conveniently, Starks' friends hold up the banner so Keith Lee can beat them up behind it, and Uncle Phil wanted them through it. Lee does a terrible headbutt to get into the ring, and then we end with a big dubsy-dub clusterfuck. And I'm not against a dubsy-dub ending, just could have been tighter. But I'll take this feud. I'll take Hobbs and Starks versus Swerve and Lee. Maybe it'll win me over to Lee, who has been growing in my estimations, unlike Adam Cole.
We knew Keith Lee would. We knew Keith Lee would.
Fucking C, boys.
It's a fucking
it was
C.
Okay. So wrestling happened, and I watched it, and I went, "Oh, Hook!" And then I watched some more wrestling, and the show ended.
And you watched some not quite wrestling.
Not quite wrestling.
So, moving on, and it is that time that we answer questions, and we've had questions sent in this week.
Hooray!
From FlareCat85, who's in the chat currently. Hey guys, questions for you. Don't feel you have to do them all in one go. Well, we're going to, because it fills out the show. It fills out the show. Who do you see taking the tag titles off Jurassic Express? Will it be Red Dragon, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, or House of Black?
Blackpool. It's not going to be Blackpool Pleasure Beach. They're a build other people up stable. It's not going to be the House of Black. They're going to have a trios feud as soon as Phoenix isn't injured for the first time in 7 years. It's got to be Red Dragon, hasn't it? I mean, if we don't get all the people from that show that we beat in the ratings over with titles, are we really AEW? So yeah, it's Red Dragon.
I mean, there's no arguments from me, but I actually really want to see them with the titles as well, though. It's not just I would really love to see.
I quite like them, but I don't
Red
give a
Dragon.
fuck about them having titles. I'd rather see Bear Country get a push. They carried the company through COVID. They were really good.
I want the Acclaim to have them.
The Acclaimed, wonderful heels.
Oh,
Trent and Chuck, at anyone who's been with us for the last 3 years. But yeah, it'll be Red Dragon.
I'm not so sure. You see, I don't think Red Dragon need the titles. I think they're a bit like the Bucks. I don't think that I don't think they require them.
Because they don't require them doesn't mean they shouldn't have them for a bit like the Bucks did.
I think the titles are safe enough. I don't think Jurassic Express have harmed them. I think it'll be the Acclaimed. I think that they are.
Pop. If I get to listen to Max Caster rap every week,
I think it might be the Acclaimed. I'm not sure. I will probably be I expect it to be Red Dragon. I hope it'll be the Acclaimed because I don't think Red Dragon need the titles yet. I think a face-turned Red Dragon taking the titles off the Acclaimed to give them that little buff again of putting them on this elite, non-shit-talking tag team might be in the future. Because, they can be great heels, but you've got to reclaim the belt. Hence why we said that the Bucks had to win that belt at one point. Because that made that belt worth something. So next one. How would you boost the women's division in AEW? Hiring more experienced wrestlers or better storyline booking?
This is an easy answer. You drive a dump truck full of money up Azuki and Kagetsu's Lesbian Mountain. You go, please come and save our women's division like how you saved Stardom. You then use an actual Bushi Road deal to do an angle where, as opposed to bringing over all the old NJPW boys and having Moxley beat them, you bring over a bunch of the Stardom people and, I don't know, maybe let them get a few wins so they actually look like a threat. Then, at one point, I don't care who, pick any woman you all think's good. She can be given a promo, and Involve All will start blaring through. Kagetsu will come down, kick the shit out of her, and save everything. And she can actually talk to Kenny about booking the women's division because he speaks Japanese. Technically, he is Japanese legally.
Is he?
Kenny's got Japanese national citizenship.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He fucking loves Japan. I'd hire some people who know about women's wrestling, basically.
I mean, the one thing for me, in the short time that I've been watching it and listening to you guys, it feels like they're transitioning a little bit better than it
adding
has
more
been
story
anyway.
for women.
And that was it. Yeah, it's adding more than just a title run. It's adding although it was fucking shit this week, the Red Velvets, Layla Hirsch, Statlander. Adding those extra bits in is what's going to create it, because then it makes it feel like it's not its own separate entity. That's not quite what I mean, but it has more of a feel to the show, I guess. Like the men's wrestling does. When you go from one men's swing into another men's swing, that feels normal. Why the fuck shouldn't it be the same from the women's into another random women's swing? I think it just needs those little bits. I don't think it needs fuck tons of money thrown at it, but it would be nice if it did.
Okay, so we're going to do this is my new CM Punk edition first, which is the comedy answer. So when Tony Khan does his big announcement about a women's wrestler tonight, Paige comes out.
Oh, God. Page marks. Fucking page marks.
But again, it is that same... someone legitimate. It would be a big moment, but I think you need to build up to it like you did with Punk if you've managed to get it. And I think she'll go back to Dubsy, even though it's a dumb idea. For me, keep booking the storylines, and you book the women's division like the men's division. Dubsy have shown you, to be fair, NXT and up until relatively recently, Dubsy have explained to you how to book a women's division, are doing it quite well by, treating the women's matches like the men's matches. They are just wrestlers. I think AEW should be the ones to bite the bullet in American wrestling. I think you need to have intergender matches.
Oh, completely.
And that would get them over.
It doesn't go mainstream. People, you completely do not understand how average American hates women fighting men.
Yeah, no, and I understand, but or the thing we've said before, you do it in Ring of Honor, but it's smaller, and also the other option. Start putting some of the women in some of these. Julia Hart should be part of Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We moaned about it earlier. Multi-gender factions, because all of a sudden that'll get her. And the one I said a couple of weeks ago, make some women's factions. You're quite good at factions. So make some women's factions, because then it doesn't matter, because Jamie Hayter's getting over just being in the background with Britt Baker. And you know what I mean? You can easily get more people over. Just have some new, throw together some new factions. So, next question. I'm expecting Wheeler Yuta and Josh Woods to join Blackpool Ballroom Fight Club. Who else can you see joining?
Who the fuck is Josh Woods?
I don't know.
He's Dark.
Oh, he's got 700 wins on Dark, alright, yeah. Probably Lee Moriarty. They mentioned him originally, and he's got 700 wins on Dark. I'd love Julia Hart. That's the... I'd take Layla Hirsch, but I think Julia Hart fits better, and I think Hirsch should be in Team Taz. I think she's a great fit for them. Or a Stardom faction with Hayter, Storm, and Hirsch, but that's back to the previous one. Yeah, I mean, they cut. Let's see, we got Garcia's a sports entertainer now, earning heat that way. Hook doesn't need to be part of a group, and he's got Team Taz anyway. I would go for Yuta. Why not this man from Dark with 700 wins? Lee Moriarty and Julia Hart. Those are my current picks out of the young people.
Let's see. I was going straight for Garcia. That was my straight, and then I straight away went, "Oh, that's done now. That's fucked." Julia Hart, we all talked about earlier. I don't really know anyone else at this moment in time.
There's not a lot of young people particularly been...
Unless they start racking up.
Oh, like right. So Flarecat's just said in the chat, he's from Ring of Honor, was the technical guy. He's really good, and he's former UFC.
Oh, okay. I mean, Garcia doesn't need Blackpool...
Pleasure Club.
I wish I had a hilarious synonym prepared. I'm being outdone by what our viewers. Garcia doesn't need to learn how to wrestle more aggressively from aggressive wrestling people. He needs to learn how to be a TV presence, which is why Jericho's made him Sammy too. But yeah, just some Ring of Honor kids before they're all fired and released, because we're just gonna fill it with AEW and NXT wrestlers. No, I'm with it. I vote for that guy. Thanks, Flarecast.
So I still see Hook. I'm sorry. I know as much as you don't want him to go Strange, I still see Hook as a move, because it depends, because I can very much see Team Sports Entertainer at some point as heels going up against Tweener Face, Team We Like Violence and kicking people in the face. We are professional wrestlers. I can see, and William Regal and Jericho versus each other promos. Yes, please. Sports Entertainer, and I think they could do a really good version of Jericho doing Sports Entertainer versus Regal doing Badass. And I think that will lead to Tweener Faces, which I think is where it will lead to the Taz feud.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, so I think that because I think that the Taz feud over I think the Hook on a pole match, so to speak.
As long as Hook doesn't abandon his dad, he doesn't need to.
I'd almost see a storyline where you could almost see a storyline with the opposite, where Taz almost says, "Right, it's time for you to go and join."
Oh yeah, if they went, if he just showed up, learned from a bit, stole their moves, beat one of them up and left, I'd be like, yeah, that's what I want.
But I want to see Hook versus Daniel Bryan. I want to see Hook versus
training montage.
Because either D-Bry or Mox, I think, is the safest bet to give Hook his first loss. And I think D-Bry more than Mox, because I think D-Bry's style will work better to make Hook, because Mox is a brawler. And he'll just have to sell for him, but then he has to kick the shit out of him, whereas Bryan can just out-wrestle him. For a moment.
But can also sell the fact that Hook's got some good fucking moves on it.
Yes.
All his jiu-jitsu flips in hip stuff and throws and shit.
That's what I think. I
know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's what I think. Bryan should be the one who gives Hook his first loss.
I'd accept that.
Moving on from there, do you have a favourite commentary team combination or a dream commentary team?
As an Excalibur, it used to be get me Matt Striker in for some of that Lucha Underground stuff. But Taz and Excalibur, like, you can throw other people in with them and they'll have fun guesting, but you leave those two together and they are the funniest. I almost want to watch 900 Dark matches a week again, just to listen to how much those two love each other. Can you imagine a world where Taz discovered comedy wrestling in the 90s? He's so happy. He laughs through anything bullshit that happens. Those two together, perfect for me.
I mean, I was going to say that just the Rampage team in general are great, but I think like I said, the best things about it are Excalibur and Taz, and then those little extra bits from Ricky and Jericho always make it fucking entertaining. For me, I am now, because of the small amount that he's done in the last few weeks, just want anything with William Regal and a microphone, constantly, consistently, and having someone as foil. I think him and Excalibur could work quite well off each other, I think. But it wouldn't be as entertaining as Taz and Excalibur.
My favourite commentary team at the moment is Taz and Excalibur. My dream commentary team would be Matt Striker and William Regal.
Oh, I take that as a combo, because no one loves wrestling and spouts fucking D&D and Lord of the Rings references like Matt Striker does.
And Regal can be that original heel.
Wrestling, like Vampiro cards.
In fact, it'd be a bit like Taz and Excalibur.
Yeah, it would be, actually. Except, I don't know if anybody is as amused by this world as
and if you've got to have a three-man team, I'm afraid I am stealing again from somewhere else, and I would bring Mauro Ranallo in for my three-man dream team.
He's got the hype.
Yeah, he was the original NXT announcer, but he was the one who was a bit like Joey Styles, but without the
then I'm
obnoxious...
bringing in Gino from NJP Dub, because that
man... he's good as well. The NJP Dub team, to be honest.
Yeah, no fair though.
I mean, Dream Comedy team, you can have Kenny's uncle. I'm having a mental blank. I'm going to blame the Rona. Don Callis. You could have Don Callis back with a good baby face on the other side, and I'd be happy. Don Callis and... Matt Striker would be really good fun. Don Callis and Excalibur.
Heel and cheeky face is basically the best combo.
Yes. So there you have it. That's our questions. And I believe that's the end of our show. Just a quick shout out, Strange, for your awards, which we're going to try and put up on Facebook this week to get some announcements to get some nominations for.
Well, I am going to give out a simple award today in preparation. I'm giving... Will Smith, my Jerry Lawler worked slap on TV award. He hasn't earned the David Schultz open hand slap award. That's still available for now. Our awards, please. I don't know, give us some nominations. Vote. I haven't really thought about how I'm going to do this, but I'll make envelopes. Best interruption. Most unsurprising Tony Khan announcement. Favorite person who disappeared to Dark or Limbo. Best young lion. Hero to hero, hero to zero, most underwhelming match, sickest move, will allow a tag team and a singles entry on that, best music, which best not be the same as the fucking competition AEW's been running, because Ricky Starks went out in like the first round, and that's a banging tune. And the Give Them a Day Off award. Give them a day off. They're on a lot. They could have a week off. I'm sure there's plenty of people who could be in that category. Plenty of people we have to watch continuously. In fact, I can name 3, not just 1. And they're not all from the same stable, would you believe?
So there you have it. That's our show for the week. We will put those up on Facebook, and you can give your nominations there. Please follow us on Facebook, WrestleOp1 on Twitter, Wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. You can send us questions, anything else you'd like. I'd like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us on Anchor.fm, Spotify, YouTube and Twitch as Wrestleopinionated. We go live on Twitch every week. We try and give a heads up on the day on Facebook. Over to you, Mo, for your Mo moment.
Mo moment!
Mo moment. My Mo moment this week is the fact that we've got to learn that John Silver has a healthy prostate.
Wonderful.
Matt?
Yes. Thank you for watching. We really do appreciate it. I love listening to the sound of my own voice, and I love other people listening to the sound of my own voice. Please like, share, and subscribe, or I'll send Will Smith round to your house to give you a gentle worked tap on the cheek and make some more money for the Oscars. It's definitely real. But yeah, cheers for watching. Like, share, subscribe, little heart button, flip the fucking thing, tell your friends, write on your cat, who cares. Leave a comment, we'll respond. All interaction is good for the algorithm, which is how we train robots to kill people in other countries. Thanks. Morg.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.